to sound good. Nobody said that it has to sound good. I don't know how many times I stood on a stage and all of a sudden it was my turn to play a solo, and I would sort of freeze and then try to play something, and sometimes I would hit the wrong string and make a weird sound, and I would like feel so ashamed and I would already want to stop playing. But then I struggled through one chorus and feeling like really not very good, and after that chorus I just would give up, and the next person who sort of has been waiting to take his turn, at least in my head, like happily would start playing and improvising chorus after chorus. So this has been happening for many years, and I can say today it has changed, but it still can happen that I don't feel at ease when I start to improvise. And after a while it might get better or it might not get better. But anyways, in today's videos I want to talk about the fear of improvising, and I want to show you also some exercises that can help you feel more secure when it comes to your turn of playing a solo. So if you want to improvise over a jazz standard, it's good if you check your foundation. And I have created sort of 3 steps that you can use to work on your foundation, and it will help you a lot to improvise over this song. So the first thing that you need to do is to check your chords, and I know that can be a lot. This tune, Pannonica, has a lot of chords. You can start with an easy tune with not so many chords, or you can just like take a very small part of that tune. So let's say the first 3 chords, that's C major, E flat minor 7, A flat 7. And you start by just learning the shapes by heart. So you just learn this shape, and then you know this is the next shape, and that's the next shape. And then you're going to say the name of the chords, like this is a C major 7. Just really sit down in your room and say out the name. I know it sounds stupid, but it's very helpful. C major 7, E flat minor 7, A flat 7. And the last step would be to say the name of the chord and then play a different voicing. So like C major 7, E flat minor 7, A flat 7, C major 7, E flat minor 7, A flat 7. So in this way you're already not relying on the shapes that you memorize, but you're already remembering the chords, and you will need to remember those chords if you want to improvise over them. You will need to know them by heart if you want to play lines that are sort of organic. The second step is to check the melody, because if you're afraid of losing the form, the melody can be sort of your red thread that weaves through all the chords. And you know, it's not like only a C major 7 and then an E flat minor 7, but it is a specific tune. And so you start, for example, to play the melody, and then you try to understand what is going on in the melody in relationship to the C major. So it's major 7, 6, 5, 3, right? And also if you want to an E minor 7 arpeggio. And then I already have an idea what I could play over this chord. And also I would have some ideas of extensions for the chord. It's a really good idea if you get the extensions of the chord from the melody. And I think there's a misconception that many people think that when people improvise, that it's like complete and total improvisation and every phrase has never been played like this before. And that's really just not true. You have to think about it more like a language, right? You're using the same words and also the same phrases each day. And of course, sometimes we express a feeling or tell a story that we never expressed before, but basically we stick to the stuff that works. And it's the same with improvising. People repeat phrases that have worked in the past over and over again, and there's also nothing wrong with it. So those 3 steps, they will give you a completely different idea about the song, and you can also transpose the song, and now you're really ready to improvise. You just start improvising, record your own jam track and improvise over the chords with the material you already know, right? And that's always enough. You can always find new ways with the stuff that you already have learned. And then you look for the spots in your improvisation that don't work so well. Maybe there are 2 or 3 spots in this tune that just don't flow as easily, and then you just separate those chords, and you can have some other exercises. Like, for example, I'm still struggling a little bit with the B part. So there's like a 2-5-1 to C major, and then the C7 to B major to E. And so one way how you could work on it is just like, again, play the chords and try to understand which notes stay and which notes change. So you have the G that stays. Another very useful exercise is to play only the 3 over each chord, right? You would have the C major on your jam track, and you play the E, only this one note, and thinking 3, and then in the next chorus maybe you play the E here or there. In another chorus you're going to play the 7th. I'm sure you know those exercises, but they're really good for listening to the chords, because that's what it's all comes down to, is that we get used to this chord progression and that we can hear what is coming. And it's also really cool if you can understand or think or hear the next chord that is coming up while you're playing. So you're sort of still on the C major, you know the E flat minor is coming up, but you're already thinking about it, maybe even anticipating it. So if you're a beginning guitarist and you're starting with, let's say, A minor pentatonic, right? You can record yourself a C major or an A minor and improvise with that pentatonic over those chords. And then just, improvisation is just like tweaking the order of the notes. Doesn't have to sound good. Nobody said that it has to sound good. Just experiment. Play long notes, short notes, whatever you want to. And if you feel a little bit more comfortable after a while, you can maybe play 2 chords, maybe A minor and C minor, shift the pentatonic with the chords, and go on experimenting. And I think it's a good idea in the beginning to really experiment in the safety of your own home. Don't do that at home. Yes, do that at home until you found some ways in your scales, right? Because you can also think about it as like finding, your way. Like in a big city in Berlin, it can be kind of stressful to find a way to a certain place if you never have been there before, especially with the bike. But maybe you check the bike map, and after a while you have one way that will get you there more or less safe. And then it's also okay to use this one bike lane, right, for a while. And also if you're nervous, you're playing with other people, you can still use this one way that you found Nobody knows what you want to play or what you have been playing alone. It's your starting point. And then when you relax a little bit more into it, you can start to maybe check out another road or the other side of the street. So I don't recommend to do that in Berlin. But you know what I mean? Just like have a look another street, check out another map, and the more you do it, the more adventurous you're going to get, and you're still going to reach your goal. So don't give up too fast. A little anxiety can be a good thing. It helps you focus, and it also makes the whole experience very intense, and that can be fun. You're expressing yourself in a way that you probably never did it before, people reacting to you, and you are in the here and now. So no two painters paint in the same way, and just get used to the feeling of being scared. Don't expect it to go away, and just start improvising. If you like this video, you might also like this video about 6 Charlie Parker lines that are really very good street maps for navigating 251 roads, and I see you next week. Bye!